All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to February 8th, 2024 edition of the Iowa 911 Communications Council. Welcome, everyone. Eric, do we have a form, a roll call check our form?
Sure. Chris Jasper.
Jasper is here.
Jeff Miller.
Miller's here.
Rogers here. Still don't have anybody from the Peace Officers Association. Mike Ryan.
Here.
Eric Daw.
Here.
Tracy Bearden.
Here.
Richard Pierce.
Here.
Rob Henner.
Here.
Adam Well.
Here.
Scott Cobble. How about Taylor Teeple? You got a form.
All right, could I get a motion to approve today's agenda? So moved by Dahl. Second? I'll second. All right, any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. Motion carries. And could I get a motion to approve the January 11th, 2024 minutes? Here's the make motion. Okay, could I have a second?
Miller will second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, signal by saying aye.
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 Again, same sign. And motion carried. Blake, you have a report for us.
I do. Thank you. I'll jump right into the program financials that were just posted to our website. Again, these cover the months of October, November, and December. Nothing really of note on the PSAP payments, but again, if you're curious, you can look through that on our website. The expenditure report, for those in the room, there was a hard copy in the back when you came in. Otherwise, it's on the screen. Again, nothing really significant to point out. You can see the revenues on the top: wireless surcharge revenue, interest, and prepaid revenue. Total surcharge is $8.6 million. One thing to point out or remind you of, the wireless cost recovery that's shown there, the $258,000, that is actually 2 quarters worth. The first quarter invoice was lost in the mail, so that reflects 2 quarters worth of wireless cost recovery. You can see the network costs, the recurring costs for Comtech, ICN, Geocom, Zetron, and those costs. 60% of total surcharge received out to the PSAPs was $5.1 million, and 317,000 carried over into the surplus. So you can see where we're at on the operating surplus as well. Again, things continue to trend downward. Any questions on the financials? And I know I went through that fast. All right, hearing none, I will move on. Just to update, I kind of been providing this information as PSAPs have consolidated. Just to let everyone know, DPS Cedar Falls is now 24/7, which means it meets the minimum criteria to be considered a full-fledged primary PSAP, which brings the number of PSAPs back up to 111. We are finalizing the FY 21-22 biennial expenditure report. I will probably present that data at the April meeting, and I'll talk about why that is here shortly. That report is due to the legislature on March 1st. And again, that takes all of the PSAP expenditure data for those 2 years and rolls it up. We are required to produce a report, and the auditor's office also is required to produce a report due March 1st. So that is also in the final draft stage and should be released in plenty of time as well. So as those 2 things are released, I'll make sure everyone knows, and again, kind of present the data at an upcoming meeting. Talking about the current outstanding forms that are needed into our office by the end of March, there are 7 expenditure collection forms to report on FY 23. You can see those counties that are still needing to send that in on the screen, and 9 service board membership forms. Again, you can see who still owes us that. Had a number of conversations with SISA and Chris, and wanted to let everyone know that we have put additional swatting resources on the Google shared site. That's behind the password protected wall. Some of it is a little bit sensitive, but it is on there. If anyone's interested, it's kind of best practices that we've gathered from other states. That's available there if you need access or you're interested, or there's a lot of resources on that Google shared site at this point. So if you just need a kind of a quick link of where that is, let me know. Also, I think we talked about this in the past, but I wanted to bring it up again and remind everyone that it's on the Google shared site as well. The state 911 program did a cyber assessment on the 911 network. That is posted on the Google shared site. And then as part of that, Scott County also did a local kind of PSAP-centric cyber assessment as well. And that is now also available on the Google shared site. If you're a local PSAP, it really kind of gives you an idea of some good recommendations that Scott County received from CISA as part of that assessment. So a lot of it, it's tailored to Scott County. It's an assessment on their PSAP, but I think there's a lot of lessons that could be learned from other PSAPs, other counties. So I would recommend reviewing that. It's not an easy read per se. Carve out some time and make sure you're focused with some coffee, but it's probably a good one and useful to look through. Also, the executive committee of the 911 Council knows this. I will be out of the country in March. So kind of TBD on what we'll do in March. I'm sure the chair will talk about that later on. But if you all do decide to have that, I'll still have somebody here to fire up the Google Meet, and I will present, or I'll have some written comments available. So it's y'all's decision, but I will not be here. GIS grant information. We continue to bat 1,000, knock on wood. January, 99 counties met the benchmarks. As a reminder that those are monthly uploads, but paid out quarterly. So you can see where we're at with GIS grants so far for the year. You have 2 training fund applications to consider today. This was a typo on the agenda. The NENA Spring Conference request is actually for $4,000. As a reminder, the council has historically had a standing $5,000 approval for the conferences. They're requesting $4,000 of that. And then Polk County and Westcom has a request for How to Save a Life. Both of those applications I have a little bit later on in the agenda when we get to it. And if those are both approved, there will be just over, I should say just under 29,000 remaining in the fiscal year that ends the end of June of the $100,000 that you have for training and public education. Any questions? Oh, I'm not done. I'm done, I should say. But Lynn from Zetron, you are still up. Do you have any, do you want to go over your slides?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep, super quick update. Still pretty quiet because of the winter weather. Potawatomi has signed on to shared services. Next slide. And so right now we've got Decatur going live in February and Potawatomi probably in September. The map shows you where we're at, and the next newsletter will be coming out in February in honor of the 56th anniversary of the first 911 phone call. Thanks for everything everybody does here, and that's it for me.
All right. Any questions on our portion? If not, I will turn it back over to the chair.
Okay, thank you. All right, we do have some training fund requests. We have a $5,000 request from NENA for the spring concert. Title training is team sport. It's actually
4,000. Yeah, 4,000.
All right, 4,000. Does Chris Jasper or someone else from NENA wish to speak on this?
I certainly can, Mr. Chair. So we are having the Denise Amber Lee Foundation come in to do training as a team sport. Basically, it talks about how everyone in the center can assist with training. It's not left to just CTOs, and how they can assist with not only new employees, but also seasoned ones that have questions or so forth. That would be the morning session for the conference, which again, there's a charge for $4,000. Then our afternoon session, the Iowa Attorney General's office is actually coming in to do training and tips for dispatchers for testifying and possibly a mock trial. So $4,000 just for the Denise Amber Lee Foundation is all we're requesting for this conference. And just a reminder, I will abstain from voting on that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Okay, since both requests we're seeing today are probably going to have some abstaining votes, why don't we just take these singly? If I could, please, does anybody wish to make the motion to approve Nina's request for $4,000?
Motion to approve Iowa Nina's request for $4,000, Bearden.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Okay, we have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against, same sign. And motion carries. Thank you. Okay, moving on to Polk County Westcom's request for $10,800 for the program entitled How to Save a Life. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on that?
Chief Mentola here from Westcom. We were looking at putting together a training, but we wanted to expand it virtually as well. And thanks to our training coordinator, Jessica, she was able to talk with the providers of the training so that we can have in-class and online training. So we can have 45 participants at the session. So we expand it so it can reach all the way across Iowa. People don't have to physically travel or do anything like that. So that's our request. We would appreciate your support.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Madam Chair, I just want to make sure that you know that I'm going to abstain from this one. Bearden.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, can I just ask one question? I just want to make sure I'm reading this correctly. So it's 3 days, but the training is just 1 day. So it's potentially 45 people for each day. So a total of 135 dispatchers could potentially be trained. Am I reading that right?
Good point, Chris.
I
I
think
would-
it
I would
says
assume so.
Yeah. So I submitted it. So it's 45 people per day plus the online capacity, but physically 45 people in the classroom for each of those 3 days because it's a 1-day course for 3 days.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Dennert will be abstaining also.
Okay, thank you. All right, I would entertain a motion then to approve this request for $10,800 from Polk County Westcom.
Jasper will make that motion.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Again, same sign. And motion carries. Thank you. Okay, do we have any technical advisories? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to a report from Ms. Nichols.
Thank you,
Morning.
Chair. Good morning. Short report here. I will start with the RIM CDP grant. That's the Rural Emergency Medical Communications grant that we've been awarded. We've made site visits to Carroll County, St. Anthony, and Manning Hospital to discuss the implementation. We'll be going to Calhoun County this month, and also a temporary part-time position has been filled. That person will start March 1st to help us facilitate that grant as we move around Region 1. Just for information sharing for the group, I have submitted an application for a cybersecurity grant for the ISIC system. If there's anything moving on that, I will report back. Our resources, the West STR trailer was deployed to Dickinson County for Winterfest. The mobile command was deployed in Palo Alto County in January as they PSAPs, so the comm center could have a place to work out of. The Central SDR trailer was on hand at the IMTD course held in West Des Moines. Also 22 of the cash radios were deployed for that course. Well, just a reminder that those resources are available and there is a request form online. One other comment, I just wanted to bring, especially the ISIS board attention, but also this group to the work that's being done in committee. There's been a lot of work on policy review already in January and February this month, but we've seen a real uptick in committee applications, including dispatchers requesting to be on our training and outreach committee. And specifically, RIC 5 has, with the help of their new chair, shown a number of new members. So that's really exciting for the ISIX board and that work. And just remember that those are available to all ISIX users if anyone listening is interested. So that's my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Just a kind of a added comment. Haley had a good catch. She mentioned the mobile command vehicle. That's part of that with Palo Alto's remodel was they actually took live calls out of the disaster recovery PSAP. So that's really the first time that we've taken live calls out of it. We've tested it, and we had it scheduled to take live calls elsewhere at another remodel, but that fell through. So kind of just a big success story. I think they took calls out of it for 4 or 5 days. So it all went well. And if you have a PSAP remodel on the horizon, it might be a good conversation to have to be able to take calls still locally.
Any questions or other comments? Okay, moving on. Could we get an update from U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity, and Infrastructure Security from Mr. Myers? Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much for the time today, Council. I will also have a very short report today. We have a couple of products that are out. One hasn't been officially released yet. We'll have an update on that next month, but perhaps one of the more pressing products that was just released is a new threat guide from the School Safety Bureau within CISA that outlines basically it's a threat guide for schools and other types of authorities, and it focuses on social media threat guiding specifically. Social media threats are somewhat unique and yet very prolific across the country. This guide provides mitigation and response measures for social media threats directed at school districts specifically. And it works on making sure that school safety stakeholders know that there's a suite of tools and support out there from some of their own partners, perhaps, but also CISA. We are selling, quote unquote, some abilities that may be available to them to enhance their posture, and those are available at no cost to them. This threat guidance is available for download as well from the CISA website. If you can't find it online or want it immediately, just let me know via email and get it sent over to you. This product has been relatively popular in other states since it's been released. It was released in kind of an interesting cadence last month, so we're here with it today. One final reminder for the group today is that April is Emergency Communications Month. There's going to be some nice themes come out that I think that apply directly to Iowa. The steps Iowa's taken as well to fortify the communications positions. So look for more on that coming up the next couple of months. Otherwise, that's all I have. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on. Do we have a report from the Chapter 34A Administrative Code Committee? Okay, do we have a update from Baseline Knowledge from 911 Communications Professionals? Okay. What I will say, since we talked about this last time, we were talking about basically this council's almost relationship with ILEA and training. And I did bring up the fact that I've been approached by you, kind of an older conversation that took place maybe a year or two ago of just some concerns about what ILEA's role has always been and who are all the stakeholders in 911 communications and whether or not it's balanced as far as the different professionals that are involved in not only communications directly, but those that are, of course, dispatched by those professionals. So with that, I brought that up to the committee since some of this is not only just in practice, but it's also in code. And just an update on my end of it, it's my intention to reach out in the next few days to Director Carney, because I have heard some things that he'd like to say or do with this on this subject, and I'd rather not rely on rumors and third person relays of information. So I'm going to reach out to Director Carney and see if I can't just sit down with him once and just see where he's at, what he's thinking, what his concerns might be, what his goals might be, and see if, you know, in the perfect world, we all work together to make things better. And that's really what we're after here. So I guess that's kind of my update on those subjects. Does anyone have anything they wish to add or voice any concerns? Or
There was a question in the chat. Is certification for the 40-hour being offered at other locations besides ILEA? I believe that is true. That is the case. I don't have the schedule memorized, but I do believe it's traveling around the state.
Can I add something to that, Mr. Chair?
yes.
I would just like to mention that, you know, we do have a telecommunicator training advisory board who advises the ILEA director on telecommunicator training, and those meetings are open to the public. We have been meeting semi-regularly every other month or so. Our next one is on March 19th. I guess I would just encourage folks, if they have concerns or ideas for training, to attend those meetings. They're public, open, they're posted on the ILEA website, the minutes, the agendas. I would just encourage folks to get involved and attend those meetings.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And, you know, when I mentioned this before as well, and it was mentioned by others, that any kind of discussions like this really do need to involve the advisory committee. We need to be on the same page. We're not pulling in different directions. So, and just for my personal observation about the advisory council, or the advisory committee, just in my years of being affiliated with this council, it's quite a bit more robust today than it once was, and I think we get a lot more out of it. So absolutely, any discussions like this need to not only involve that advisory committee, but I also encourage people to take part in those discussions at that community level. And like you say, they're open to the public, and anyone can be there. So it is a great place to go. I mentioned, I would just like to sit down with the director once and just bounce some ideas back and just see what it is he has to say about it, what his thoughts are. So we're not in any way ever working against each other, because that's definitely not the idea here.
Mr. Chair, if I may, as the Iowa Firefighters Association rep, I do appreciate the efforts. Although fire dispatching is such a small part of what we do, it's a very important part of what we do. And from my experience throughout the years, there's almost zero training that's going to be available for fire dispatch. So I do appreciate the efforts to diversify training.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
I think it's a very good thing about sitting down with Director Carney and having such a discussion. And because I think that the group needs to work hand in hand with ILEA to be able to find ways that they can work together to incorporate some type of certification into the ILEA program. They can meet both what the counties and locals are looking for, but also enhance and improve the ILEA communication program itself. I think there's a good middle ground that can be had out of this without it necessarily being the partisan one way or the other. I think by formulating maybe a targeted group is a suggestion that works hand in hand with the ILEA staff and others to be able to come with something that takes the best out of both sides.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Okay, any other comments, concerns, or suggestions? Okay, moving on. Do we have any legislative issues that anyone would like to discuss? Okay, any information sharing by council members? Okay, I'll just share what Blake had brought up earlier about, next month's meeting. It is possible that it could be everything from we have the meeting regularly like we're having today to not having it at all or having a virtual meeting. What I don't want to do is mess up anybody's plan for any training grants. I don't want to hold anything like that. I also don't want to hold up just the general business of this council. So soon we'll just see what business we have to deal with, and we'll be in touch as far as what we'll be doing about March. But it's possible that if the meeting takes place, it may look a little bit different than what it does today, but we'll certainly let everybody know. Okay, any other information that anyone would like to share?
If I may, sir, I'm sorry I'm talking so much today.
No, that's fine.
I just wanted to remind everybody that the APCO NENA conference is coming up in April. Registration is live on our website. We are having an awards dinner this year to recognize our award recipients, as well. Talking about awards, the awards deadline for submissions is at the end of this month. So we would really like to get some more submissions for that. All the information is available on our website at iowa.apconena.org. And there are a bunch of new categories this year, including CTO, technical innovator, supervisor, director. So if you haven't checked those out and you guys had an event or something in mind, please get those submissions in by the end of the month. And I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. Anything else from anyone? Okay, we don't have any new business or old business or travel requests. Do we have any business from the floor in this room? Okay, any business from those joining virtually? Sounds like we do.
Hi, this is Dominic from the Iowa Utilities Board. Just got a question about any type of changes that might be pending for the committee on the legislative level. I haven't heard anything, and I wasn't sure if you had an update on that. I wasn't sure if I missed that. So if you would give an update, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, this is Blake, and I'm starting to second guess myself too. I haven't seen a bill on boards and committees at all. Funnel week is next week. I've heard nothing, seen nothing.
Wasn't there something I just came across? The only thing that I've seen on boards, I recall seeing something come across in regards to limiting gender balance. That's really
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I have not seen anything, heard anything, so as soon as he did, certainly we'll be talking about it here, but so far, nothing now. Okay, anything else? All right, hearing none, then we do have something. Yes.
Terry McClanahan, Dallas County. I just want to put a word out there. Thank you to everybody for the support we've received from our dispatch and our agency on the Perry incident last month. And it's been very overwhelming for us. We've really been supported by the people throughout the state. Agencies, dispatch centers, dispatchers meeting with us. It's really, truly appreciated. And it goes a long way with us. And we're still receiving things from national agencies that have gone through this before. So it's quite a situation, and it's really appreciated. I just want to put that out there.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Please. Everyone wants to stay. I have a motion. I have a second.
I'll say.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll call that passed. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.